Hey UK Bills Mafia, this is Christian Wade of your Buffalo Bills. This is the Red, White, and Buffalo Blues, a UK Bills podcast with your hosts, Matt and Alex. Let's go, Buffalo! Woo!
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Red, White and Buffalo Blues, a UK Bills podcast, Bills news with a UK twist. Matt and Alex here, and we are joined by Bills running back, UK legend, or we'll call him legend, Christian Wade. Christian, how are you doing, my friend? Thank you very, very much for coming on the show.
I appreciate the invite, guys. It's so good to, finally be on this podcast speaking with you both, and I'm just looking forward to it, man. Bills Mafia, baby.
Exactly, and I mean, I've told you this before we came on. I'm actually quite nervous about this, and even though we've had the big guys on here, you're probably the biggest guy we have on here, and I'm hopefully we're going to get through this without any mishaps or anything like that. But it's honestly an honor to have you on the show, and hopefully between us we can get the Bills Mafia strong in the UK.
Oh, for sure, man. I'm just looking forward to it, guys. Bills Mafia is such a big, support worldwide, which I didn't actually know about until probably like a few weeks ago. And then just before the game, I had put a tweet out saying, okay, so, who's got tickets? That's kind of talking to the American audience. And then I said, okay, so who in the UK is actually staying up? Yeah. And I had countless responses, London, UK, or Scotland and Ireland and Sweden, Portugal, Hong Kong. I was like, this is crazy. So, I'm just overwhelmed by the support and stuff, and hopefully we can continue to grow the fan base.
Yeah, I mean,
winning helps, right? And we're doing that, so that's a good start.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But before Alex starts with the questions, I just want to ask, what's the obviously after Saturday, the Saturday match, what's the atmosphere? Is everyone buzzing? Everyone up on that very high pedestal, just off their face with happiness?
No, I mean, as players, man, we're just ecstatic, really excited, and just this is what we've been working for. Whether you came in this year, last year, or when Coach McDermott first came in and really changed up the whole culture, brought some new guys in and stuff, like we've all been working towards championships, and we've just been trying to do our best, put our best foot forward this year, obviously with all the challenges with the pandemic and stuff, and the guys are just like, this is where we want to be, it's what we've worked for, and we're just ready for the next game. And we're not trying to look too far ahead. We've been that way all season. So whether it was game one or, our first playoff game, we're just always like, okay, right, let's get this game done, look to the next one. And then we just looking, every week we're just trying to go 1-0, 1-0, you know what I'm saying? So the guys that we're excited and stuff, but we're not, going too crazy and, getting ahead of ourselves. But, we know how much it means to Bills Mafia worldwide. We know how much it means to Buffalo as a city. These people here have been waiting, 25 years plus for us to be here in, dare I say, our rightful position, competing for championships and just giving the people what they want. And we're having fun with it as well. I'm sure you see that on the field, we're out there having fun, just trying to.
And the dancing as well. As well.
Exactly. So, we're just trying to have fun. Just like Bill says, just like Cole Beasley likes to say, I just want to party. So there it is.
That's awesome. So looking back at your history, you're from Buckinghamshire. Is it pronounced slow? I knew I was. Please. I did this kind of on purpose. How did I get that wrong?
I mean, you didn't get it wrong.
Okay.
People say it like that too. People not from England, obviously, but you could say it in short, because a lot of the what we call them, they're called counties. So we just call it Buckinghamshire rather than Buckinghamshire. But then some people might say that. And then just for short, we'll just say Bucks. Or you might have Berkshire, you say Bucks, or Bucks, or Hearts for like Hertfordshire. So, you know, it's probably easier for you to say Bucks. But yeah, that's where I grew up. But I was actually born in Berkshire, which is like the next county along.
Okay. So that's kind of close to London, like 20 miles or so, is it?
Yeah, so the way that London actually works, well, not works, but I guess we would say like it's inside the M25, which is almost like a big, you know, ring road. I'm not sure I'm not sure how long it is, but it's quite a big area. So if you're inside the M25, which is like a highway, then you would say you're in London. If you're outside, then you're not in London. So I live literally just outside, you know, like 10 minutes away from, you know, the M25, you know, then I'd be in the circle. So, you know, when people ask me who aren't from England, I just say I'm from London because that's where I spent most of my time. And, you know, instead of going into the geography, it's, you know, it's a lot easier if I say London. So that's what it is.
I just say South Coast. I just say South Coast. I'm actually
South
from
Coast?
I live in Poole, but I was born in East London.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, you can't, even if you said Poole, like no one will know what the hell you're talking about. So
exactly.
Just
South
say,
Coast
I live
all
in
the
the
way.
South Coast. Yeah, because we don't even call them coasts, but you say South Coast, they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm from Buffalo, if you can't tell by my accent, not from England. I've taken a lot of trips to London. I love it. London and Buffalo, though, a lot different. Like, how have you settled living in the US, and like, what's like the biggest difference that could stand out?
Well, because of my rugby career, I've been quite fortunate to travel like the world a few times over. So, you know, America I wasn't a complete stranger to America either, because I have family who live here in Brooklyn, and also my fiance, she's from Queens as well. So, you know, I've been over here a few times before. Not been to Buffalo, but in terms of like, you know, getting into or acclimatizing to the American culture and the way of life and stuff, it was pretty seamless. You know, having an American fiance, you know, she would help me to navigate, like, you know, because really living on earth is the same wherever you go, really, unless you are going from like, you know, I guess to a third world country or somewhere that's completely different in terms of maybe living in a desert or in extreme snow like Alaska or something like that, or the North Pole. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. And, you know, how my fiance is, it's pretty easy. And, you know, my days consist of waking up early, working out at the facility, coming home, you know, studying, having some food, just relaxing, and then doing it all over again. So, you know, whether you're in Buffalo, in London, or in South Africa, you know, it's always going to be the same as a sportsman, really.
Gotcha. That's a real smart answer. I appreciate that. Moving from Buffalo to London, I mean to England. I'm up in Cams, if that's what you would say, right?
Where you
I'm in St. Ives, Cambridgeshire.
You live in England right now?
Yeah, I'm here now too. Yeah,
okay.
That's how we got started. Matt was like, hey, who wants to do a podcast? And I had just joined the UK Bills Facebook group when I moved here in 2017. Okay. So since then we've been doing this, and it's been pretty great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did have an in-person party for the playoffs last year, so that was pretty fun. I really wish we could do it this year, but
yeah.
You mentioned you know, what you do you know, throughout your day. I did see you posted on Instagram that you used to play NFL Blitz all the time. I used to play. I love that game. Please tell me and be honest. Who was your favorite team?
To be honest, I used to play with the Bears all the time. I used to want to be Urlacher, so I can just go and hit people.
That works. That works in that game for sure.
Just running around with Urlacher, just trying to hit everybody, bro.
I think that'd probably be my position if I could actually run. Normally, I'll probably be a kicker or a punter. Probably do that job. Probably suit me a lot better than
not an NFL blitz.
any other position. I'm a goalkeeper, so I kick the ball. So
yeah. Or NFL blitz all about truck sticking people and making big ass hits.
Big plays. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, obviously coming back, what was your first ever introduction, if it was NFL blitz, what was your first introduction to American football, and what really grabbed your interest and your desire to go from rugby into the NFL and American football?
Yeah, it's quite hard to actually remember what my introduction to football was because it's an American sport. Like I really can't remember, but there's countless American football films that we watch, and I guess American football is like that sport that you could really bring across like the emotion and the what's the word, the kind of determination and stuff. It's like a great sport to depict in a movie. So I don't know whether it was like Any Given Sunday or Air Bud 2 where I seen American football and I was just like, this is pretty cool and like inspirational and stuff. And then then you have the NFL blitzes, you have NFL Street, then you had the Madden games. So I can't really remember my recollection of stuff, but it's just always been in and around, like in movies, on games and stuff like that. So I've always been real intrigued about it and like, this is a cool sport, elite athletes, just an amazing like prospect to something that I would never be able to get into, because this is a story that a lot of people don't actually know, but like when I was growing up, I actually loved basketball. I'm pretty sure it was the Space Jam movie with Michael Jordan. I just like fell in love with Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls. I knew everything about them in the 90s. And then, I was growing up playing basketball all the time, scrimmages, play against all the older kids. Even when I went into like year 6, year 7, because they moved year 7 to, I don't know how old you are, Matt, but you remember when they moved year 7 from primary school to high school. So when I was in year 7, I was actually playing for the varsity team for school. So I was 12 running around being a point guard while we're playing with all these other 18-year-olds who were in sixth form. And man, I used to love basketball. I was like, I'm gonna play basketball. I'm gonna get a scholarship. I'm gonna go to America and be in the NBA. But obviously, as I grew older, I really understood that actually that's an impossible task. Something that some people could do. I think probably like Luol Deng. Trying to think who else from England actually played in the NBA. But it's such a hard kind of thing to do that as I grew older, I was just like, that's never happening. But what do you know? I ended up making it into the NFL. So I ended up getting over here in the end anyway. So I guess my dreams kind of came true in that respect.
So take us back to that phone call you got from Brandon Bean. What was your emotions at that point, and what did you know about Buffalo and the Bills itself at that time?
So like in terms of like the Buffalo Bills, it was a team. In my head, I always seen the Bills as like a historically great team. Like I knew the logo, like I knew like certain players who would play for them and coaches and Rex Ryan and stuff like that. But I just wasn't, it wasn't in my mind as like a New York Giants or a Patriots. You know what I mean? It was kind of like, this is like an old school, historic team that had great players and great history. And I knew it was Buffalo. I didn't know it was in New York though until until I was about to go there and stuff. And even then, I thought it was a lot closer. I didn't realize it was a 6-hour drive, and an hour flight. So that kind of threw me off. But going back to the call, I'd gone through, leaving rugby, then spent 4 months at IMG. And then at the end of that IMG kind of, camp, they had told me that I had made it through to be in the NFL, but they didn't say, what team it was. So
yeah,
I guess they were trying to emulate kind of like a draft day for us, where we just done our combine in front of all the scouts. Then we'd come back to IMG. We'd had our one-on-one meetings with the coaches, and they said like, yeah, you've done really well and you've made it through. So I was like, okay, cool. Then I flew back to London, and like 7 days later, the NFL UK called me into the office, and then that's when the call came through from Brandon Bean. I was there with my family, my mom, my dad, and my younger brother, and I just remember so much emotion coming over me, because all I could think about was all the hard kind of work that I'd put in and the efforts I'd put in, once I had left rugby, and just grafting, on my own. I had hired like 2 trainers in Travis Allen, who works out of KX Gym in Chelsea, and then one of my other good friends, Leroy Mediri, he was working on my speed work, and then I had the guys at the NFL helping me out, learning how to catch the ball, handoff. So there was just such a big process that I went through from, when I first retired, to doing that stuff on my own, to then going to IMG, to then coming back and then having this phone call. All that emotion just came through, and I was just trying to hold back the tears, because I'm a big man, so I can't be crying in front of everyone. But yeah, it was definitely emotional. It was definitely emotional, and I was just lost for words. I didn't really know what to say, because that's kind of the moment that every person who's in America, especially, they wait for that phone call from a GM to say, you're going to be a Buffalo Bill, or you're going to be whatever team it is. So, man, it was I was just taken aback, and just really felt like all I've been doing I've been doing it for a reason, and I was just ready to get out there and start working.
Yeah. Do you keep in touch with any of the other guys that were on the same pathway? I mean, I know there was Jacob Jacobson of New England, and a couple went to Valentino Holmes to the Jets, and guy
and
from Brazil to Dolphins.
So I keep in touch with everybody. So we're kind of like a like a little brotherhood that's been going on since the first generation. So the first generation of international players officially was F.A. Abada, Alex Gray, Alex Jenkins, who's the Owen. Now you had Moritz Botha.
Yeah.
Not both Moritz, because I'm getting mixed up.
Bohinga or something like that.
Yeah, Boringa. So I know another Moritz from South Africa. That's how I was getting mixed up. So yeah, you got Moritz, Boringa, Alex Jenkins, Alex Gray, and then F.A. Abada. They were like in the first gen. There was actually another guy as well, but I can't remember his name now.
Christian Williams, Christian Scotland Williams or something like that.
Christian Scotland Williamson, but he wasn't in that year though. He was in generation 2, the second gen. So you had Christian Scotland Williamson. Then you had, who was in there? Yeah, I think Moritz was in that again. You had Chris Izala, a German guy, and then you had Tiggy Sanko from London, and then the last person, I always get mixed up. Chris Izala, Christian, Tiggy. Oh, and then Jordan Mailata. Remember Jordan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
then
the Australian.
Then you have my year, which is me, Jakob Johnson, Derval Neto, Kiros Neto, and then you had obviously Valentine Holmes, but he went back. So yeah, man, we've got like a little brotherhood going on. We all, stay in contact, and then we usually all go back to IMG, obviously where it all started. So then we can all, if we're just coming into the fold, then they can do their thing. But then the guys who've done it before can come back and help them, let them know what they're, about to get into, and, anything that they need help currently where they're at, we just all try to get together, man.
Yeah.
That's very good.
So how did you feel about that first preseason game, your first touch, where you go for 65 yards and a touchdown? It seems like you actually got that. You've got the run game, you've got the carry all nailed on. You found the gap and just went for it. how did that feel? And obviously the fanfare and the all that came afterwards.
Yeah, it was just crazy, man. It was very similar to like, you know, when I got that phone call from Brandon Bean. In that moment when I had scored, it just felt like everything I had done to that point was worth it because, you know, you can imagine when I got the call from Brandon Bean, like that was obviously like a big kind of hurdle that I was able to like overcome and achieve. But then from that phone call up until that point when I scored, it was like a hell of a lot more stuff. Like, you know, I went from learning 8 plays and having a week to, you know, learn it and being like, oh no, being nervous, to getting to OTAs and having to learn like 60 to 100 plays in a night and then having to do it the next day. So, you know, it was definitely a huge step up that I went through. Then it was OTAs, rookie minicamp, then, you know, mandatory minicamp, then 5 weeks, then back for training camp, which was then another step up, and even longer days. So from like 7 a.m. till like 9 o'clock at night, I was like, man, this is crazy. But, you know, having gone through all that stuff and then getting to that first game, it was crazy. But the biggest thing, which was kind of a shock. Like I was very much worried about the playbook, but once I had started to actually, you know, practice with the team and getting ready for games, the playbook was actually like the easiest thing, and it was more like the techniques and actually gameplay that, you know, I was more worried about now, because I was just like, I know the playbook, like I know exactly what I'm supposed to do, what my role is, but how well can I execute the play? That's, you know, something that, you know, where I was basically would struggle with, because I haven't had as many reps, because I haven't been playing it at a young age. And also when we do have practice, you know, a lot of the stuff that I'm learning, I have to learn mentally, like doing mental reps rather than actually getting to do physical reps, because they need to get, you know, the vets and some of the starters ready. So, you know, in that moment when I scored, it was another emotional moment where I was just like, yeah, I made the right decision to leave rugby and come over here. And all the stuff that I've been doing up until now, if I've been doubting myself and not sure, like in that moment, it just kind of gave me that that moment of, yeah, you're doing the right thing, Christian. So just keep going.
Yeah.
So, like, speaking to that, you know, what that was when you first came in. You know, how do you feel about your game now, you know, compared to when you first came in? Because obviously that 65-yard touchdown seems like you mastered the game right away, right?
I mean, that's the thing with football. It's like you can have athletic ability, but like if you don't know what you're doing, you really can't do anything. You could be like the fastest player, the strongest, all kinds of stuff like athletically, but if you really don't know, if you don't know what you're doing, then you won't be able to use any of that stuff. So I guess when I scored that touchdown, it was like a mixture of, you know, my athletic ability and me having some sort of idea of what's going on, you know. Now I knew exactly what I was doing, but I think you get the picture kind of thing. If it's a different game where in other sports you can have athletic ability and not know, you know, what's going on, but still be able to perform well and, you know, have that, give everybody an illusion that, yo, this guy, like, he's a baller, but really he's not. And that's what I find fascinating about, you know, football. Like, you really do have to be smart, like a smart player to be successful in football. And yeah, man, I actually forgot the question, bro, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just here.
I was just saying, like,
talking.
How you were then to how you are now, you know, like, how do you feel about your game? Like, how, you know, what's, you know, how are you feeling now about your game?
Yeah. So coming into like, I want to say what we would call OTAs, because it was very different this year, you know, the setup and stuff. So when did we come in? So we basically came in for maybe like a week or 2 weeks before they called it officially camp. And you know, it was a lot different and stuff. July, I think it was July actually.
Okay.
End of June. it might have been July that we went in to do that. Or was it July? Oh yeah, like it's probably around July. It was in July we went back. So yeah, we just when I went in July and stuff, and we started to do the team things, I just felt a lot more comfortable, being out there on the field. The game slowed down. I was able to, things that I wouldn't necessarily pick up on real quick last year because I would have to think and work it out. This year was just like, oh yeah, straight away I'm able to do that.
Instinct.
Okay, I'm out there on the field now, lining up. Okay, I'm looking at, what's my protection, where the safeties are at, the court, what's the front, all these little things now, these little checks and whatnot, was just coming a lot quicker. And like even for like the run game and running routes and stuff like that, it's just becoming more natural. So that's definitely been the difference from year 1 to year 2. But the thing that I was most, I guess, upset about was the fact that we didn't have any preseason games, because then I would be able to actually put it into practice to see from year 1 games in year 1 to like games in year 2, like how do I feel now? Because I was really out there last year, like I knew what I was supposed to do, but I wasn't really looking at the defense because that was too much. If I had a guy in front of me, I know how to beat a man. But in terms of like in the overall game, I'm just looking at like kind of my job. This year, I'm starting to like understand how everything works. If this guy's doing this route or he's trying to get here, why are we doing that? How does my job affect his, and how does his job affect mine? So, that's really been my progression from last year, just really starting to understand and unpack things with better understanding this year, rather than just listening and taking notes so I know what my job is. This year it's like, okay, that's not really applying to me. Okay, this bit, okay, our coach asking a question about that now, whereas last year I probably wouldn't have a question, or I would, but it'd be like a dumb question. You know what I'm saying? This year it's like a question where it's everybody's like, oh yeah, like, coach, what is the answer to that? Because now everyone's wondering what it is, rather than me asking a question that's really only for me. Like, what does QB stand for, coach? Nah. I never ask questions like that, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say, though.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's different from rugby to the NFL. I mean, I think it was, I'm just going to go back to your second carry in the second preseason game last year, when you were that close, you decided to run towards the middle and got tackled down there. And that's obviously, you now learnt that you've got to go to the outside, go away from the defenders. I'm assuming obviously your rugby still kicked in on there, but I'm assuming that with that, it's really hard to adjust straight away and get it out of your mindset, because you're always looking to go towards the posts to give obviously the fly half a better chance to kick the points, but obviously trying to now adapt that to the NFL, where you can score anywhere across the end zone.
But you know what, with that story, because a lot of people assume that's why I went towards the post, but like what actually happened was, coming out the backfield, catching the ball and stuff, beating players, that's what I do anyway. And then as I was running, you can imagine, like, as a rugby player, it's not that I'm trying to go to the post, because you only really go to the post once you've cleared, all the defenders. Yeah, that's true. So now you're like, okay, cool, let me run towards the post, because, make the kick easier if you have the option to. But what happened was, when I had broke, looking up the field, all I could see was bodies, like players running around and stuff. So in my eyes, anyone in front of me when I'm running downfield is on the other team. So that's the rugby instinct, that kicks in at that point, where it's like, okay, straight ahead of me, there are bodies. So let me run towards the grassy area where there's space. So then I obviously veered off towards the space, which happened to be, towards the middle of the field. And then that's when I actually got tackled like 2 or 3 yards short. But when I watch it back now, and I'm like, with a football brain, I'm like, okay, cool. I should never have even gone inside, because the guys in front of me were in fact, the opposition, but also my players too. So they were there ready trying to set up the blocks.
Right.
We don't have
Yeah.
in rugby. So I'm thinking, downfield players, space, let me run to the space. And that's really, how that whole kind of thought process went in my head. But now when I look at it, I'm like, man, I would have had 2 games, 2 touchdowns, because it was literally easy walking. Crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
exactly. I mean, you're talking about obviously the success you've had in Premiership rugby, obviously third highest try scorer, obviously your career with Wasps and all that. How does the team success the Bills are having this season actually stack up with your successes with Wasps and in rugby?
So like this year, like I think the closest that again, I'm trying to think of a season that would be closest to what we're having here. It would probably be 2017 when we got to the Prem final, and we had like a star-studded team, a mixture of like some some vets, a lot of younger players, and then some guys in the middle and stuff. And the team was built off of players like myself who had been with the team for probably like 8 years, 7, 8 years, and really being like the core of the team, like myself, Joe Launchbury, Elliot Daly, Dan Robson. There's loads. I'm probably missing so many players, but there's loads there. Rob Miller, there was like so many guys that had been there for a while. We'd been grafting, we'd been through some bad times where we'd lost like a lot, losing seasons. But this was kind of, our year, where previous to that, we'd, been in the playoffs and stuff, but got kicked out or got knocked out. But that particular year, we worked all the way through, and it was a successful year. I think we only lost like 2 games, which was crazy. So this year definitely reminds me, of like Wasps, working towards something big, eventually, getting there, and then just being successful, from there on, and that kind of cementing your place like in the league is like, we are one of the top teams. So that's really how I see the Bills right now, where historic, because that's the other thing with Wasps. Historically, they were winning everything, so that's pretty much like the Bills. And you kind of go through that period of trying to figure out what's going on. Then you have a new coach, and then you start to rebuild. So it's very similar in that respect.
I've seen a lot of, your interviews and the little show for the Bills. You talk a lot about the relationships and how much fun this team has. Talk about that, like kind of that looseness, that community that a team can have, and like how that leads to success. And like, is this team like the closest team that you've maybe ever been on? Would you say maybe?
I've been on I've only played for one. I was a one club team back in rugby, so I stayed with my team though throughout the whole of my career. But with the like the international kind of setup that we have, from the ages of 15, I've been playing, for like the under 16s. Then I did the under 18s for 2 years. This is like a national team, by the way, like an age group national team, which I'm talking about. So I was able to be a part of like a lot of different teams. With that respect, at under 16s, and then under 18s is like a new team. Under 18s, my second year, I did the first year as one of the young ones. Then I was older the second year, but then it was a new team again. So I've been a part of a lot of teams, and a lot of the times we've tried to create. Culture's always been like a big thing, so we've always been pretty tight. And you can imagine, obviously, us being that sort of age as well. We're still young, so we're probably a lot more tighter,
a little bit crazier.
To be honest, being at Wasps as well, we definitely had that culture where, we were all, the lads. We had team socials all the time at Christmas and Halloween and, end of the season and whatnot. So, we were a very tight-knit team. And so I recognize, what it feels like to be in a good culture. So as soon as I got to the Bills, I felt that, from the get-go. And even the way that, Coach McDermott spoke in his meetings, because I had watched Embedded, you know, prior to joining the Buffalo Bills, so I could see kind of like, you know, coach's kind of coaching style and how he was. But then when I saw it firsthand, I was, you know, just in love. And if you speak to anybody at the Bills, you know, from the first day, they're just like, bro, this place is incredible, man. Just the energy from coaches, players, staff. You know, Coach McDermott has really, you know, picked, you know, good people rather than, you know, talent or somebody who's good at something over their personality. He does it the other way around, you know. And I think that's really been one of the key ingredients to why we've been so successful. Just because, you know, if you build a relationship off the field, you can imagine on the field when the going gets tough, you can relate to each other easier. You know, you can communicate. You know, you could probably even feel when somebody else is going through something, so then you pick up the slack. There's all these little small things that happen that if you don't have that connection and that closeness, you know, you can really miss opportunities to maximize or be successful when you're on the field.
Yeah.
That's great. Staying on the topic of team and community and stuff like that, what advice from any of the other running backs or any of the players, even maybe Frank Gore last year, like what's been like the most helpful piece of advice you've gotten from a player?
The most helpful piece of advice.
I mean, have it be extra rows or just like, you know, the way the mental part of the game, you know, like I imagine Frank Gore had a lot to say.
Yeah, Frank. I mean, Frank, you know, he doesn't he doesn't speak a lot in terms of like telling people what to do, but he's the ultimate professional, you know. So you know, when he was in the building, just everything he does is just like, man, this like, you know, he's done 17 years in the league, and you could tell that by the way that he conducts himself, how he's in meetings, you know, the extras that he does, you know, going out early to get ready for practice, what he does after practice. It's just all these different things, you know, that you would watch him do, and like now, you know, you can see people doing those things even though he's not in the building. So it's been you know, he was definitely a big, you know, influence on all of us as a running back room for sure. And, you know, we've just tried to carry that on this year as well, even though he's not here. So, yeah, it's Frank Gore, man. You know what I mean?
When he talks, you just listen.
Yeah, for sure. And it was the same with like, you know, when we had Shady there too, LaShawn McCoy and Frank, you know, although they were only there together for the off season and stuff and preseason, like they definitely helped us as a group.
Yeah. So talk to us about give us an insight into what it's like beyond the practice squad. What's the typical day look like and all that? So is it something that obviously join in with the rest of the squad, but being on the practice squad is what is a typical day? Let's put it that way.
So yeah, being on the practice squad or the P squad is literally this. I mean, for the UK audience, it's the same as being like in the academy or like the reserves. For you know, in rugby it'll be like the academy. In soccer or football, it will be like being one of the reserves. So what happens is we're all part of the squad, the Buffalo Bills as an organization. But on game days, you know, there's only 46 players who could suit up, basically get dressed officially to play. So almost like your game day squad. And then obviously the other 7, they don't suit up. So of the 53 roster, 46 will suit up, and 7, you know, will get told that they're not suiting up for this game, plus the practice squad. So the practice squad is almost just like a reserve, you know, squad that are in the team. We do everything the same as you know, everybody else, but the practice squad is just there just in case, let's say one of the 53 gets injured. Straight away, your practice squad guy comes in and takes that person's place, or they might, you know, bring somebody else from somewhere else and bring them in. So, you know, just to kind of give the UK audience a better understanding of what the practice squad is. That's what it is. And in terms of our schedule, like I said, because we're all on the same schedule, we'd go in, and you have the option to lift if you want before meetings. Meetings usually start, this year, they're starting around 9 o'clock, and then we go all the way through until about 11:45. Then after those meetings, we have like a little break, and then we're usually outside about 12:15. 12:15 till 2:15 will be like the slot for practice. So we can either use all of it or, use what we want. But we can't go over 2 hours. Then we'll have like an hour break. Then we'll go back into meetings to review, what we just practiced. And we'll be in meetings till, typically till from about 3:15 till about 5:15. And then we'll be out of there. And that will be your typical day in season.
So during the game, are you in the box? Are you in the locker room? Where are you watching the game?
So usually what happens is game day, we would all have to report to the locker room 2 hours before. But if you are in a practice squad or you are not in the game day like 46, then you would get there, just a little bit before that 11 o'clock kind of slot, which is 2 hours before, so that you could work out. So we'd usually go in the locker room, dress, go on the field, work out on the field, run some gases, which is like a bit of, running sprints, run some routes, work with my, coach, Kelly Skipper, do some individual work. Then I'll go inside, shower up, and then, the rest of the team would start coming, around the 11 o'clock slot. And then I'll just chill, vibe with the guys. And then when it was time for warm-ups, I'd have my hoodie on and tracksuit, and then I'd run out, and just kind of give the boys like my support, catch up with them. If they need me to pass to them or whatnot, I'll do that. We'd run in and then run back out for the game, and I'd be on the sideline. We'd all be there supporting. This year, it's a little bit different where we're not allowed in the locker room. Only the 46 players who are involved can be in there, plus coaches, but not everybody. And what happens, we just still get there 2 hours before, but we go straight to the, one of the suites, and we have to watch the game from up there because we're not allowed to be down there this year. So that's the general vibe. And then what happens for away games, we meet up like the day before at the facility, go to the airport. Obviously we have our own like chartered plane or whatever, because there's so many of us and we don't want to be mixing with, the general public just because of COVID and stuff like that. So we fly to wherever we're going. We spend the night there, and then we play obviously the next day. But with this kind of COVID stuff, when we get to the stadium, we go straight to the suite, watch the game there. Then when we finish, we come straight to the buses. They obviously go to the locker room, play the game, go back to the locker room, and then come back to the buses. So it's kind of weird though, because they don't want us to go in the locker room, but then we're going to be with the team on the bus, and we're on the bus with them before. So a lot of it doesn't make sense, but what do I know? I don't make the rules. I can do as I'm told, and I don't get fined 50K. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, don't do that. Yeah. I
mean, you've managed to experience the Buffalo crowd coming out of the airport when they clinched the AFC East. How was that feeling for you as a player on there, just seeing all those fans coming out to cheer and support and celebrate after winning the AFC East?
Yeah, that was crazy, man. I think the closest experience I had to that was being on the Lions tour. On the Lions tour, we had, can't remember how many buses it was, maybe like six like they're not double decker buses, but the six like big coaches, all branded up with like the like Lions Tour 2013 Australia with, it's all red and stuff. So wherever we were going, obviously we would go in these buses, right? And obviously like driving through Australia, through the city or to the stadium or training stuff, there's people on the street. And every time we went past someone with a jersey on, they would obviously honk the horn, people going crazy. And when we'd pull into the stadiums and stuff and whatnot, there'd just be like this, on game days, the streets would be filled with people going nuts. And for me, that was the closest experience, you know, that I had before, you know, coming and seeing this at the airport, because we heard the rumors like even before we had left, like, guys, you know, they're going crazy. Apparently there's like, you know, 5,000 people at the airport. And then I don't know how, but somebody managed to get a video sent to us and we was in the air. You could see it. We was like, yo, this is crazy. And then, you know, once we landed and stuff, we came off, we could just hear everybody going nuts, cameras, you know, the media, the police, you could see all the sirens and the lights and stuff, you know. And then I got into my car. We was driving out and it was just like, obviously we were all queued up because the police were having a hard time trying to, you know, organize everybody, because they were like, yeah, stand back, stand back. And literally as we was driving through, it was like, I couldn't even really see the road. I didn't know if I was running over people's toes because they were all so close, side by side. But in the end, I was just like, mate, if I run over somebody's toes, it's on them, because they know we're trying to drive through. And I was just going through, doing my, beeping my horn. I was like, and then everyone was just like going, yeah. My windows are blacked out, so they couldn't see me from the side, but in the front. And I think someone must have put their head at the front. It was like, oh, it's Wade. And I was like, and they started banging on the car. I was like, oh no. It was wild, man. But I was enjoying it. I didn't even care that they were banging on the car. I was just like, man, we just clinched the divisional title. So you know what? Bang on the car all you want, man. Like, this is something that the people have been waiting for 25 years, you know, and we're just so happy, man. We just want to keep it going.
Yeah.
Just imagine what's going to be like after the next 2 wins this season.
I know.
It's going to be 10 times.
Buffalo's going to go crazy.
Yeah, man. So this will be my most important question. Being from Buffalo, I'm very interested in this. What is your favorite restaurant?
So my favorite restaurant in Buffalo. So this year, obviously, I haven't been able to go out much to like restaurants and stuff. But you know, from last year.
So what's your favorite DoorDash?
You know, DoorDash. Nah, so I don't really DoorDash that much. But from last year, my favorite restaurant would probably be like Lucia's on the Lake.
Yes.
Have you been down there?
Yep. Beautiful.
And also, I'm just giving my favorite ones I go to quite a lot. Buffalo Chop House, downtown.
Yep.
Tapo. You know Tapo as well?
Yeah, love that area. Yeah. We're talking downtown Elmwood, Delaware. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was one place I went to this year actually, and it's called Salvador's, I think. Have you been there? It's like a hotel. Like, I didn't know about it last year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we went there. I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I never been here, but it was, you know, it was a real nice little evening. I was able to get some food. Myself, me, my fiance, and then Zach and his fiance as well.
Very nice.
Because you know, 2 running backs. It was like, let's go and get some food together, man. Like, after one of the wins this year. So those are my favorite places.
Is there any food that you've had in America that like you haven't had before, like something that you've grown to love, anything like that? Because I mean, I don't know about you, but like over here, we don't get Mexican food in England the way you do in America. Like, that's my favorite.
Yeah. I mean, you need to know where to go when it comes to Mexican, because you can get some real serious Mexican food, and like, because that's the thing with like London, you can get everything, but you just need to know.
In London, to go. I mean, where I'm from in Cambridge, though, like, you can't. There's really not much up here.
Oh yeah, nah. You ain't getting any up in Cambridge. Yeah, probably not. But then again, you never know. If you ask around, you might do. You know what? I'll tell you. I'll find out for you, and then I'll send you a little text. You know what I'm saying? But you said, were you asking me if there was any Mexican places I've been to up here?
No, like, I mean, is there a food that like you like, you know, is there a food that you've grown to love since you're in America? Yeah. Like, for me, the foods, there's America's good at some things, England's good at other things, you know?
Yeah. There is one thing that I never had until my fiance made it. Was what's it called now? It's where you have like the sweet potato, and then on top you have the marshmallows that you
yeah.
that you melt on there.
Yeah, for Thanksgiving, right?
It's called I forgot what we call it now. Sweet potato casserole. That's it. So I never had that before, and I kind of like that. So you know, that's probably like a food I've had. Yeah, and I never had collard greens before I came here either, and that was pretty nice. I like that too. I'm trying to think like if there's anything I hadn't had before, because a lot of the stuff that you know I might have wanted to have that they have in America, I probably had it just because of my family, or because someone would have made it in England because they had seen it. You know what I'm saying? So there isn't really anything that I hadn't not had before and was like, oh, this is amazing. Like I need to tell everyone back home so they can have it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's weird. Like a lot of the things in America we do back home anyway, or we've tried it or tried to in some way. So you know, it's more like in America there'll be stuff like that they've never heard of over here, or that they've never done because they haven't tried it or they just never seen it. So you know, that's what I've really noticed living over here. You know, it's usually, oh yeah, I've done that, and then I ask them, nah, like never heard of that, or what is that? You know, that's usually how it goes.
I'm sure nobody in America knows what a pasty is. You know, something like that.
Exactly, like a Cornish pasty or something like that.
Yeah,
I say certain words, and they're like, "What the hell?" Crazy.
So on the flip side, what do you miss food wise, or anything about England?
Oh, I miss
anything
Snickers.
particular?
Snickers, man. I get my mum to send me Snickers from England, just because I didn't even know that it was different, or I didn't realize the difference until I actually started living over here. Because I'd come over here before and had it, but I was thinking, oh, maybe it was just like a bad batch or something. But the way it's made is different. It's almost
really?
like the English Snickers is more like savory, and you know, you could taste the nuts and the nougat and stuff like that. But over here it's like it's real sugary
sugar.
I just don't like it. It don't really taste. And then I've let people taste like the Snickers that I bring from home, and they're like, yeah, it does taste better. Like it's just way better because it's still the chocolate is obviously where the sugar comes from, and then the caramel. So you don't need to add any more sugar. I don't know what it is. They add some other stuff, and even when if you cut it in half, the dissection looks weird. It looks different as well. Like if I was to show you the cross section, you'd be able to see it.
I'm gonna have to do this experiment. I'll try that out.
Yeah. But I tell you what I do that I don't drink when I'm home, but I drink here. It's Sprite. Sprite is crazy over here, man. Sprite is crazy over here. No word of a lie. I drink so much Sprite over here, but when I'm home, I won't even touch Sprite really, unless it's from McDonald's.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
The McDonald's is a lot different, man. Let me tell you, I miss the American greasy McDonald's. But speaking of the differences, do you intentionally use any British slang to mess with your teammates?
No, not intentionally.
No.
Yeah, not intentionally, because I've actually like changed the way I speak a little bit, just because I've been around, you know, Americans for about 2 years straight now, you know, without speaking to an English person, and I'm, you know, in meetings all day, every day with, you know, an American coach speaking to me, American teammates speaking to me, you know, American staff speaking to me. If I go to the store, it's Americans, you know, so I'm hearing American accent the whole time and stuff. So, you know, the way I speak, really in terms of like the intonation and stuff like that has changed a little bit. But like the way I speak is, you know, I still just speak how I speak, a bit of, you know, slang in there. certain words I say all the time, and they're like, "Why do I say that?" And I'm like, "Say what?" Like, you know. So I've got them copying certain words I say, like in it, and you know, just little silly things and stuff like that. And you know, there's other words that I change, but I do on purpose because it speeds up the communication. Because I remember my first year here, I'll be speaking and they're like, "What the hell is that?" Or "What are you saying?" So then I would have to speak with like an American accent or try and use different words just to speed up the communication, because there's no time, you know, to be like saying something 3 times for them to understand. It's just like, you know, so yeah, the way I speak has changed a little bit.
I mean, I remember the first time someone asked me, like, "You all right?" The first time someone hit me with a "You all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm all right. Why are you?"
Yeah.
Fine.
My my fiance used to say that to me all the time, because I'd say, "You're right, yeah," or you're right," and then they're just like, "Yeah, like, are you right?"
Don't worry about me.
Yeah. That's just how we say it, though.
Yeah.
So I enjoy your little segment, Coffee with the Bills, where you give that random Cockney rhyming slang word to teammates or that. I've done it to Alex a couple of times. I mean, I said to him once, said, "I'm going for I've got a cup of Rosie Lee and going for a Ruby Murray." He had no idea.
No idea.
Because you're from East London too, innit? So you know like all of them. Yeah. Because I'll be getting stuck sometimes, like trying to think of other ones to use. So I might have to come to you, Matt, and be like, "Bro, what's the word of the week this week, bro? Like, what is it?" Because
I'll be
getting stuck. Yeah. Because if you've noticed, I've started to make them a bit more easier, just doing the rhyming slang, just because otherwise I'm gonna be there all day with people trying to guess, you know.
I mean, they'd have trouble with trouble and strife. Alex, you know what trouble and strife is?
Dude, you're killing me.
It's wife.
Is it?
Trouble and strife. The last part, Russ, strife, wife.
Okay.
At the moment, you're on your Jack James.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I'm going to use that now, though. Yeah, I'll get that. I'll incorporate that. That'll work.
But he doesn't get it, though.
No. I mean, mince pies. Mince pies.
Look, he's scratching his head.
End the chat.
No, well, I'll definitely get some words out. We'll do a little segment, words of the week, rhyme and slang of the week. Me and you, and we'll see what they all know.
Yeah,
nothing.
Man,
we know nothing.
Yeah. Now the other one, me and my fiance today, was like the accent challenge, you know, because there's a certain words that were said differently, like oregano or aluminium. You know, Alex is like, "What?"
No, I got that. I've incorporated that. The biggest thing is coriander and cilantro, because I love Mexican food. So I'm going to the store. I'm like, "Hey, where's your cilantro?" And they're like, "American."
Yeah.
Where's the coriander? You know?
Coriander. That's how we say it.
Yeah.
Oregano, coriander. Or even like if I said you got some cling film, because you call it like plastic wrap or saran wrap. Like you call it saran wrap. Saran wrap.
Definitely cling film.
I love watching I love watching Great British Bake Off, and when they're like oregano, I'm like, "Oh, that's not how you say it."
Yeah. But you know what's crazy though? How Americans always but my teammates always telling me, "Speak properly." I'm like, "Bro, it's called English."
Yeah.
It's from England, bro.
My coworkers tell me that all the time. I'm told that almost every day. Yeah.
It's crazy. But you know, it's just right now, it's just like funny. We still have the same conversations like that, but it's more just for bands, because they know that, you know, their way is right, but then my way is right as well. But I love that they try to tell me that my way is wrong. So just, you know, now it's just banter. It's funny.
So we're gonna end it with some quick fire questions. The first one is, who's the best trainer?
Who's the best trainer? Oh, as in like
which player trains the hardest? Of your teammates.
You know what? It's probably Diggs. or Trey White, to be honest, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
you know, a lot of people probably look at this and be like, oh yeah, he's probably like, you know, one of those dudes who's just all about trying to score on the weekends, but he goes hard. Like, he goes hard in practice. He's like loves practice, and I think that's given us an extra edge this year too.
Yeah. This one probably going to throw a teammate under the bus on this one. The worst trainer.
The worst trainer?
Yeah.
It's crazy. To be honest, there isn't. I don't think that we have a worse trainer. We have like a real. We have like our environment, like culture that we set. You can't have any bad trainers. You know what I mean? They won't be.
Don't
in
make
the
AFC Championship game if you have a bad trainer.
Yeah, they won't. Now for real, they wouldn't be in the building long. Especially like I said with the practice squad. You know, we're really there to like service the first team until someone gets hurt, because it's like we're really all one big squad, but they just give, you know, the different sections names. So this is practice squad 53, but really it's just all one big team. But yeah, if you I've seen practice squad guys get cut because they are not practicing to the standard that they need, and they're just literally they'll be there for like 2-3 days, bro, and like gone. So, you know, it's that serious.
Which teammate is the last one onto the training field?
Probably Andre Roberts. Yeah. So he's our returner, but he's also like a world-class receiver. But he's a vet, so he's been in the league a while and stuff. So he likes to take his time warming up, doing all this stuff he needs to do inside before he comes out. So he comes out just before, you know, we need to actually practice.
The veterans get the benefit of the doubt, right?
Yeah. The vets get to do that because they've been around, you know.
This one might cause a bit of controversy. Joker of the team.
Biggest joker.
Biggest joker of the team. You know, I've got a few candidates. Josh Allen, Isaiah McKenzie, who else? Trey White.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you one more. Who else is a joker?
It seems like Dawkins, you know, with the way he acts.
Yeah, he's a bit of a joker, but he's actually like more, you know, he does stuff like that more for the camera and stuff, you know.
Okay, yeah.
Other than that, he's you know, he's still a joker, but he's more like chill, relaxed, you know, talking with people and stuff, you know, doing his thing. But you know, when the camera's on though, you know, you see Dion come out, and then obviously when we're on the field as well playing, if he scores or makes a big play and stuff, you see the attitude come out too. But Taiwan Jones.
Yeah.
So he's probably the joker in the running back room for sure. You know, going around tapping the shoulder, being on this side. He's always got like a piece of grass or like a little stick kind of thing that he'll be like put into by your ears, making people do this sort of stuff, you know. So there you go.
Stay away from Taiwan.
Yeah.
And best and worst dancer, because we've seen all the dance videos and you just having fun and train dancing. Who's the best and who's the worst dancer?
The best dancer is probably Gabe Davis. So I had this question the other day. We got quite a few. The best dancer between Gabe Davis and Daryl Johnson. So Big Daryl.
Yeah.
So Big Daryl's number 92, and then obviously Gabe is 13. Those two probably, you know, dance off between them would be a good show. You said the worst dancer.
Yeah.
I mean, we all saw that video with Josh dancing. So I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, let's say Josh then, because there's clear video evidence of that.
Okay. The last one, it probably will cause definitely cause a lot of controversy, probably with the fans.
Don't get him in trouble, jeez.
The best wing joint.
The best wing joint. I think everyone in Buffalo would probably agree that it's going to be between Bar Bill, Anchor Bar, because they're the historic, like,
Mhm.
original Buffalo place, and Duff.
You got it.
It's probably between those three as like the main ones. Am I right, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I was in Buffalo in September for my brother's wedding, and I made sure to go to Barbill twice. So that's my spot for sure.
That's the joint. But
Yeah.
I don't. This is a bit, this is a bit far left. But there was a brand that I had, not a brand. There was a place that I had found in is it Knights of Columbus? It's like a sports gym.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been there, but in there's like a little cafe, what we would call back in England, like a little cafe on the side, right, where they serve drinks. I guess you could get coffee and maybe some soda or whatnot. But they also serve wings, and it's called Wing Nuts with a Z. I had wings in there. That place was kicking.
Really?
It was serious, man. I don't know what he puts in the. I don't know what he puts in like the batter or that goes on the outside, but whatever it is, man. Yeah, that's definitely up there. But it's not like an official shop though. You have to go to the sports gym and in the cafe, like on the side. So I don't think a lot of people know about it. But yeah, that's definitely a place that, does some serious wings.
Sometimes that's always the best place, the hidden joint.
Yeah. Oh, there was one more actually.
All right.
It's called King Wings.
Wing Kings. Yes.
Wing Kings.
Yeah. When I lived back home, I lived on Hurdle Avenue, and one of them opened up on Hurdle Avenue, and I used to go there once a week almost. I loved Wing Kings. Yeah.
See, there you go. Wing King. Because Wing King is it's not really a restaurant. It's more like a fast food, like,
takeaway wings.
Pick up and go. Yeah, but legit. It's legit. See, I like finding the little ones that not many people speak about, but the Wing Nuts and Wing Kings.
So have you been, when you've been back to London, have you actually have you been to Orange Buffalo?
No, I haven't. Where's that?
They've got a couple of pop-up streets. I can't remember exact location.
Yeah, there's like 2 food trucks in London, and then they opened up one brick and mortar in South London. But I would consider them to be the best wings in London, Orange Buffalo.
When did they open up though?
They were here when I moved here in 2017, so I don't know how long before that.
Let me find out. Let me do a quick
because
search.
I mean they do it. I mean, we're talking they're big wings and they make their own blue cheese, and that's something that you cannot get here. Good blue cheese. So Wing Kings, Orange Buffalo, they crush it.
Yeah, Tooting, where we go?
The Brick
Lane, Hoxton Street. Yeah, and Tooting. They're the main places. They do.
Because I'm trying to think. I haven't really been in the last few years. I haven't really been, in London as much because obviously Ross moved to Coventry. So I was living, just outside Coventry or just in Coventry at that point. 2016. So, I hadn't really been in London as much as I usually would be. But I haven't come across Orange Buffalo, but I'm gonna have to check it out. But as you said,
definitely check it out. It is to die for.
Brixton,
yeah,
Hoxton.
So Hoxton Street, Brick Lane, and Tooting.
Yeah. So I'll definitely have to get out there. Oh well, go over to one of those restaurants when I get back.
They do a Viper wing, and that's gonna hurt. That's hot.
Have you been to what's it called now? Where's my card? So before when I had been, got the call from Brandon Bean, a couple of days later, Wingstop gave me one of these. So it's basically like a black card, but it's a green card. So the Wingstop, I go in there with this, and then I can get like whatever I want to get for me and like 4 friends and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Nice. I think we're gonna have to. I think when we come out, we're gonna hook up with you when we come out there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say no. This is for in London.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Wingstop.
That's
Yeah.
what I was saying. So have you been? Have you been?
I've been
Wingstop?
there. They're okay.
Piccadilly.
You know, I have too high of a
Piccadilly.
standard, I guess.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's like it's
Yeah.
more of a what's the word? It's not
Takeout
like
joint.
it's not like authentic wings really.
Yeah, it's not like Buffalo. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
general.
yeah. I feel you. I kind of just was
Well,
just trying to show off, you know what I mean? That's really
Yeah.
what I was showing.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, you got to be
hey,
an MVP to get that wing VIP card. You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, I mean this interview has been literally
It's been a
amazing.
blast.
And it's been really great to chat to you, just get to know you, get to know a bit more about obviously your career so far in Buffalo, and all the emotions and all the learning that you've actually done. So Christian, on behalf of Alex and myself, thank you very, very much for
Thank you very
coming
much.
on. And we're, again, as we said, we'll grow the UK fan base to number one in those rankings.
Yeah, we have to, man. I just really appreciate you guys having me on to speak on the UK Bills podcast. But yeah, like you said, man, let's just, keep pushing on. Let's keep this momentum going with the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, we've got KC coming up this weekend. But yeah, man, the support from everybody has been great. Bills Mafia for life.
Yeah,
exactly.
Buddy. Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Especially with now we got Danny Ricciardo on board.
Yeah, you see
I saw that Instagram post.
Yeah.
Should we make him jump to a table?
Yeah, I'm have to hit him up, because I was with him in at the Super Bowl last year, actually. So he was we he was invited by, I think, EA, actually. So we was all hanging out together and stuff. So I was able to meet him and stuff. But it's cool to see him supporting the Bills. I said I need to get him a jersey for the next game so he can support.
We're trying to get him on the podcast as well.
Yeah. That would be cool, man.
Yeah. But no, as we say, thank you very much for coming on the show. I mean, this will probably be the most watched and most listened episode probably we'll have, which is all good. And it's been a real pleasure to have you on the show and talk about your Bills career.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Christian, and good luck over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Right. 1 week at a time, baby.
Yep. Exactly.
You're
we'll
right.
see you with that ring.
Yep.
We'll get you on the show with the ring.
He said 1 week at a time, Matt. We got to beat the Chiefs first, all right?
All right. Fine.
We get a championship, AFC Championship ring first, though.
Okay. So see.
No, there will be one. All right.
There'll be one.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Christian. Take care.
All right. Thanks.
Have a good day.
Cheers.
Take it easy, buddy. Go Bills.